I think something worth striving for each and every human being is abundance. And it takes on a whole new meaning as you explore life, I guess. Abundance for me now is like everything's taken care of, and I'm accumulating more resources, more time, more energy than I need to take care of everything. It's got so much less to do with like finance and money than I would have ever thought. It's like I'm getting abundant sleep, so I'm well rested, so I can focus. Like it's so much more than how much money you've got in your bank account. And it's really where you start to realize what people are talking about when they say like money can't buy happiness. Is like the cliche, but like money's not going to solve all your problems is a more accurate phrase, because like you could have unlimited money or like huge amount of money, and if you're incompetent or you're emotionally burned out, stressed, any kinds of issues are just going to drain that so quickly. So there's like all these different kinds of abundance that you need before you actually go after that financial abundance. And the financial abundance, another cliche, is that it comes as a result of taking care of business, like taking care of yourself, taking care of your sleep, taking care of your skills and abilities, like develop yourself. You don't have to think about money at all. Like that is actually a truth. Like if you take care of abundance on all these other levels in your life, I guarantee you'll make more money than you can spend. But if you just try to make a bunch of money to solve all of your problems, then you're going to have all of these issues that are so expensive that all of the money in the world isn't going to solve them. And it's a frustrating topic because it's one of those things where you could listen to a bunch of different people talk about this. You could watch heaps of like transformational YouTube videos or read all of the books about how to create this abundance for yourself. You could, travel the world speaking to masters and gurus, whatever you want to do, and it's not going to land until you actually accept the fact that there's not some like secret hidden meaning here. It's just like, take care of yourself, like take care of business, man, and make the most of what you've got, starting where you are. Like even if you've got fuck all, like the first step to creating abundance is to distribute that fuck all like a total boss. Like make it work, and once you make that work, then it's simple, like addition and subtraction. If you've got $100 in your bank account and you're spending 90, you're on your way. And it sounds absurd because I think what happens is you can't imagine how that's going to work out in the long run, because you've got no examples, you've got no mentors or guidance or anybody who's ever like shown you how saving $10 a week is going to change your life. And it's kind of incomprehensible. You don't have the knowledge that you're going to have in the future as you continue to take care of the present moment. And even now I'm at a point where like, oh yeah, I can see how I can save $1,000 in a week, but like I still can't see how that's gonna get me to the levels of abundance that I'm striving for now. But it doesn't matter anymore, because now I understand the basic fundamentals that like I've just got to focus on myself and taking care of me and my growth. Like develop more skills, because then my value increases. Take care of any addictions or issues or anything I have that's causing me to spend emotionally or spend out of necessity to take care of problems. Like as I just deal with things, as I solve problems, abundance is a natural byproduct of that. But there's still a part of me that says, like, I think it is like we want, when you hear the word abundance, or you hear like, oh yeah, rich, wealth, money, like the cultural programming that I've received through social media and being brought up in my era has been like, it's like now, like abundance is now, money's now, like rich and famous now. And this reality that you discover is that it's actually, you get fucking nothing now. Like, you actually gonna have to give me all your shit. This is what life says to you. Like, you're gonna have to give me all the shit that you already have, that you thought that you know, that was your abundance. Like, you have all these things going for you. You're gonna have to give up that. You're gonna have to give up all the fancy food, the fancy clothes, the fancy car, the fancy house. Yep, give it all up. That's what abundance actually is. Give it all back. Oh, you like, what? No. I fucking, like everybody else, driving around in Teslas and wearing Gucci, and I don't even know, Gucci's like, is it jewelry or is it clothing? I don't know. Like, but that's the thing that all these rappers are going on about now. I don't even know the things that people are wanting to spend their money on in the first place, and that's why I have abundance. But yeah, it's like, you got to give it all back. All the stuff that you've bought into, like you've invested into, you've bought into this shit, right? And it's costing you, because it's like, it's not actually assets, it's all liabilities, it's all emptying your wallet, not filling it up. So first step is, even if, like I said, even if you've got fuck all, even if it's just like treating yourself to McDonald's once a fortnight, like that's going to be the thing that you're going to have to give up, and you're going to have to eat like just an apple or something, you know. Like, wherever you're at, it's going to be all about giving things up. But like, the cultural programming is all about like, get it now, and that's like, it's fucked our heads, because it's like so counter to what's actually needs to take place. But like, once you actually develop the hustle, and you've got this abundance generating, and you understand for real what's going on and how to grow your freedom and your contribution. Like, once you know, like I know now, like I can see the growth curve of my life. It goes upwards. Like, it's no longer like a wobbly line, or like up and down, like payday and then throughout the week it's spent, and then payday and then throughout the week it's spent. No, my line goes like this now. Or like maybe like the same like wave formation, but the wave formation always leads upwards eventually. So I know, and I can see in hindsight when I look back at different times in my life where I thought I was hustling, I thought I was doing really well, thought I had this abundance thing figured out, and I was living my best life and moving towards it all, but I was still actually buying into all of this shit that I really needed to give up. Like, in hindsight, I thought I was doing it, but there's something that takes place on the journey towards like financial freedom, if you want to call it that. That's got connotations that drive people insane, and they reject it, and they like feel they got all these issues around money. But yeah, I want freedom and contribution. Like, I want to increase my level of freedom and increase my level of contribution. I want to be able to give more, but I also want to be able to do it in a way that feels amazing for me, and I'm like, get to enjoy it and take my time, and just, you know, freedom, contribution. Forgot what I was even saying. When I talk about money, I feel full of shit. That's just a little thing for everybody to be aware of who's a regular viewer of this content. And this is my video journal. It's never intended to be advice or guidance. I'm just expressing what I'm thinking and feeling in the present moment. I'm aware that I'm talking fast, which is usually a sign that there's a lot of ego here. I am proud of myself though. Like, I'm looking at my life going, here it is. This is why this is coming up right now. Because, like I said, you got to give all this stuff up, because that's how you're actually going to get the abundance. So I'm at a stage in my life now where I went through that. Like, really? I got to give it all up? Like it's the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Like, they're just going out getting loans and credit cards, driving the fastest cars, like going to all the parties, doing all the fun stuff. Okay, I'll give it all back. But now I'm at a stage in my life where my actual genuine abundance has overtaken the level, like there's more cash flow, I could afford all of the things that I gave up now. And the most fascinating thing about it is I don't want any of it back. Like, the only reason that I was doing half of the stuff that I was doing earlier in my life was because everybody else was doing it, and I had this whole, we just care too much about what other people think. That's been ingrained in human beings since the dawn of time, probably, because it's all about survival instincts, right? Like, you get kicked out of the tribe, you're on your own, and then you're easy pickings for the saber-toothed tigers or whatever else is out there. Like, I don't know, like, I read a bit of that, like, evolutionary biology, psychology, limbic system, big words, all that stuff, those books. It's interesting to me. But yeah, I definitely think that we've got this like massive comparison thing built into us. And if it's not built into us, it's definitely programmed into us. And it's been programmed into us times 1 million since like social media took over the world and became such a prevalent part of every single person's lives. Like, finding somebody who isn't on social media now is such a rare gift, and they are the most fascinating people on the planet. Like, you ever meet somebody and you're like, what's your Instagram? And they're like, I don't have one. Like, okay, Facebook, nah. Like, all of the things, nah, I don't even have a phone. Like, that kind of person. Like, tell me about your life, tell me what you do, what is freedom like? Like, how is it to be unplugged from the matrix? Like, I consider myself to be like pretty free in terms of like this whole technological like dictatorship thing that's going on, because I don't care about these devices, and I don't care what is happening with all this data, but I probably should more if I'm going to be using them. I don't know. But I consider myself to be pretty free when it comes to devices. I use them with intention. I use them creatively, proactively. I'm not on there ever just scrolling because I'm empty inside. Like, I'm the person that's probably going to be creating the content for the people who are scrolling because they're empty inside, and hopefully somebody stumbles across some Kai Lives content and they're like, oh, this is actually the thing that I needed to really get in touch with myself so that I could put my phone down and go out and create abundance for myself, like, for example. Just trying to be that real, genuine, real person that's not talking shit. And even on that, like, recently I've been thinking, like, someday I will probably come out here and give advice and guidance. Like, I won't, there'll be a day sometime in my lifetime where I don't preface everything I say with, this is never intended to be advice or guidance. Like, this whole, like, don't listen to me because I don't know what I'm talking about thing. Like, I intend to attain a certain degree of mastery over the human condition, over, like, being really well. And at that point, then I will start to create content that is like, look, 20 years of research and observing other people, helping people heal themselves. These are my conclusions. Listen up, guys. Boom, 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 boom. Off yous go. Like, that would be so much more valuable than what's happening right here in so many ways. But at the same time, how many people like that? You know, like, you can search YouTube now and you can find people from like 20 years ago who did that, and that they were like talking about how to live life really well. How many of them actually had a catalog of all of their, like, not all of my experiences, but all of their experiences that made them who they are in those moments where they're telling you their conclusions? Like, I feel like it just, like, this won't be anything until like 20 years time, when I've been through all this stuff, and then you can go, how did he do it? Like, let's have a look. Like, he actually didn't have a clue what he was talking about for like a decade, maybe 2 decades. And then all of a sudden, all of these different bits of the puzzle got really solid and it all fell into place and it made sense. And then he was able to articulate it really well because he spent the 20 years practicing how to communicate with a camera. Big picture plans, guys. Big picture plans are also a part of abundance. You gotta have something to work towards that's like compelling and magnetic. A big, beautiful horizon. I have so many of those things on the horizon that I'm just like, this is so, like, just beautiful things that I can't wait for. Like, I'm just so excited. And they shift and change. Like one might fall apart, so I'll create a new like ambition that's attractive to me, that gets me out of bed in the morning. This is like little bits and pieces today, isn't it? It'll be interesting to watch this one back. If you get anything out of it, please pass it on to anybody else you know who may benefit from these kinds of thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave your comments down below, and check out kailives.com if you feel so inclined.